Hi, I'm Karen Hudsmith. I'm here in Hot Springs at Advantage Title and Escrow. Let's get ready to sell Hot Springs, Arkansas. So I'm here at Advantage Title with the lovely Jeanette. She is going to kind of walk us through, you sell your home or you buy a home and you go into contract, then what happens? So she's going to kind of give us a generalized blurb of what to expect once you've gone under contract in your beautiful home. Jeanette?
Hi, you get a contract. You send that contract to me.
I send the contract over to Jeanette and we get it started.
It's my job to make sure title's clean. It's my job to make sure that you get what you're paying for and that everything behind that is clear so that it's actually you that owns the property.
Yes, I would say that's super important because you get titles, you want to make sure that they do all the legalities over here, they do all the research, and they make sure that there's not a lien against that title that maybe even the seller doesn't know about, right? Does that ever happen?
It does. We've had previous issues from sellers before them that we have to clear up, and it's just part of what we do.
So now you've got the title clear, and then we're moving forward from there. Would you say about how long a timeline does it take to go from once I send you the contract that we've got an offer on the house, then time frame wise, how long does it take to get to the actual closing table?
If everything is clean on title, we could typically close 2 weeks. If it's a little hairy, sometimes it could take up to a month, just depending on how in-depth it is.
Would you say that typically 30 days is pretty much the standard for getting into, before that seller actually has that check in their hand and they're ready to move forward? So the title's clean, then from there, what is the next step in the process to get that closing to the table?
We have to make sure all of the terms of the contract are met. Everything is, we've got termite, we've got payoffs, we've got everything we need so that everything happens like it's supposed to.
Fantastic. And they do all the grind, let me tell you. They cross all the T's and dot all the I's and make sure that everything, when that buyer walks away from the table with that new purchase from the seller, that it is free and clear and it belongs strictly to them. And the easements, let's talk about the easements. Sometimes there's easement issues in the title. Yes. You guys make sure that there's none of that to...
Survey issues, we clear up all of that stuff. So working with surveyors, easements, you know, we've got to make sure you have clean access. Mm-hmm. We've got to make sure, it's our job to make sure that they never need us again, that you never need us again. Mm-hmm. So we make sure that you're buying what you think you're buying.
Okay, fantastic. Mm-hmm. Love it. So it's really easy for the seller and the buyer. These guys do all the hard research and work to make sure that once you have that home and you walk away from that closing table, that everything's free and clear and you don't have any more worries. So there's a lot of jargon in real estate. So we just mentioned easement. We're going to talk about that. Jeanette, explain to us exactly what does easement mean to clear a title?
So we have to make sure that you have clear access to your property. So if your property is landlocked, if there's anything wrong with that property where you cannot get to that, if you have to go through someone else's property to get to your property, you need an easement. So you have to be able to access your property from a public county road or a public state road. Okay. So we just make sure that you do have that access.
So easements are pretty important in the title process and getting it a clear title.
We aren't the lawyer. We have attorneys. Okay. We aren't the lawyers of the paperwork, but we do have attorneys that come back behind us and check and make sure that everything is legal, that everything meets state and federal requirement. I mean, the biggest thing is the commitment. That's what makes sure that you have clean title to this property and that everything is the way it should be for the customer, for the buyer, for the seller, because it protects both. It's really, that's your insurance, and that's something that you can come back on. If someone messed up somewhere in the chain of title, that's your policy to make sure that you're good.
Back to the jargon. So the commitment equals insurance. Correct. Fantastic, yeah. I'm Karen Hudsmith. I'm your Hot Springs Insider, and I wanted to bring Advantage Title and Escrow to you today. They are a fabulous company to close with. They definitely do everything in a very fast, time-efficient manner. Always do not have to worry when it's in their hands. They make sure everything is covered. All the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted. And to be able to get in touch with Advantage Title and Escrow here in Hot Springs, Arkansas, call 501-226-4972. 501-226-4972.